This radio program is PG-13. Parents strongly caution some material may be inappropriate for children under the age of 13.
The following program is sponsored by Michael W. Smith. The views expressed on the following program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership.
Arizona, this is Brother Mike back on the radio. Welcome to HardcoreChristianity.com. Thank you for tuning into the program. Today's Bible study, Crossroads. Welcome to Filthy Fridays on Hardcore. May God richly bless you today. Don't forget about all of our services listed on the website, HardcoreChristianity.com. My Sunday morning podcast is at 9 o'clock. Ladies' night is Tuesdays at 6:30. We have 2 live services every week, Thursday and Friday nights at 7 o'clock. We have 3 Zoom services every week. Send me an email, Mike at HardcoreChristianity.com, and I will send you the code and the passwords. Please remember, we have a healing service once a month, the last Friday of every month. And by the way, thank you so much for the support you gave us during the revival. You wouldn't believe how many people got healed, literally physically healed right in front of us, and delivered from demons right in front of us. The Holy Ghost went on a rampage. It was awesome. Crossroads. Many people in the Bible came to the crossroads of their life, and some failed, and some succeeded. Did you ever hear that song from Eric Clapton? It came out obviously years ago in the 60s, called Crossroads. Do you remember that song? Yeah, well, the first verse in that song went like this. It says, I went down to the crossroads, I fell down on my knees. Down to the crossroads, I fell down on my knees. Ask the Lord above for mercy, take me if you please. Well, that was a catchy tune, wasn't it? It sure was. At some point in your life, almost all humans, and if you're a born-again Christian, almost all born-again Christians come to a crossroads in their life. Have you noticed that? Yeah. What is the crossroads? Well, here's the definition of it. Quote, the moment when your course of events in your life, to a significant degree, changes. Wow. Isn't that the truth? In the Bible, we see examples of people winning and losing, winning big and losing huge. Which one will you be? In 1 Samuel chapter 15, King Saul was given orders by God to go wipe out the Amalekites. And I mean wipe everything out. He went there and didn't do it. He listened to the people. He was influenced by people. He was a people pleaser. And they checked out the spoil, and the people wanted to keep the good stuff. And so Saul let him do it. Samuel visited, heard the animals making noises, and said to Saul, why did you not obey the voice of the Lord, but you flew upon the spoil? You did evil in the sight of God. Now here you have Saul at the crossroads of his life. He could have either obeyed the Lord and done what was right, or he could have gone the way of the people and done what was wrong. And he failed, and failed huge, as you well know. It was awful. It led to his death. He committed suicide on the battlefield years later after he went to the witch of Endor. Samson, God's mighty warrior, in Judges chapter 14, came to the crossroads of his life. He was a physical specimen we have never seen before. He was the strongest human being that ever lived, stronger than the great Paul Anderson of the 1950s. I mean, this guy was absolutely unreal. He had supernatural strength from God. Strongest man that ever lived. But he was also an incredibly man's man. He was a man's man and had a huge sex drive. Huge sex drive. He wanted an orgasm constantly. Well, he came to life at a certain age where he couldn't take it anymore. He had to get married. He looked around at all the Jewish women. He didn't find them attractive. He looked around at the Philistine women. He said, wow, these are hot babes. Gotcha. So he comes to his parents. Judges chapter 14, he went down to Timnah and saw a Philistine woman. See, the lust of his eyes. Samson was loaded with lust demons. The demons looked out of his eyes and saw this beautiful Philistine woman. He comes back and he tells his parents, I found a Philistine woman who is an idol worshiper. Go get her for me. And his dad says to him, hey, can't you take a Jewish woman, somebody serving God, serving Jehovah? Why do you have to chase after these Philistine women? Samson said, go get her. No negotiation, nothing. His lusts were in complete command. He came to the crossroads of his life, and guess what happened, friend? It killed him. They poked his eyes out later with Delilah, and he died in the temple. Pilate had a chance at the crossroads. Do you remember that? He's interviewing Jesus. The eternal God told him, everyone that wants truth and believes in truth and desires the truth comes to me. And Pilate, in his conscience, knowing that this was the Messiah, he knew it. His wife had told him it was the Messiah. His conscience screamed at him, hey, you're doing something wrong here. This is an innocent person. And Pilate chose to hand Jesus over to the Jews. They judged him. The Romans murdered him. The Jews demanded he be murdered. Then cursed the entire nation of Israel by telling Pilate, his blood will be on us and on our children. Pilate said, and washed his hands in front of him, his blood is not on my hands, it's on yours. Well, there was no way to get out of it. Pilate came to the crossroads and failed huge. When you come to the crossroads of your life, friend, it's a traumatic event. It's usually something negative, not always. And you have an opportunity at that moment to go right or left. You go right, you serve God. You go left, you serve the devil. Judas is sitting at the Last Supper. Judas. And Jesus says, somebody here is going to betray me tonight. Everybody said, who in the world is it? Who is it? I can't believe it. Well, it's the sop guy, Jesus said, and hands him a dip into the guacamole. And he handed it to Judas. And he said to Judas, what you have to do, you need to do it quickly. He got up and left. The disciples had no idea what was going on. They were completely confused. But Judas had come to the crossroads of his life. While he was sitting there at the table of communion, the blood and the body, he had a choice to make. Crossroads are all about a choice you make. You can go right or you can go left. Judas, like Samson, like Saul, made a left turn. Oh my God. 6,000 or 7,000 years ago, Cain brought an offering to Jehovah and it was rejected. And God told Cain the correct offering was a blood sacrifice offering, which Abel had made. Abel knew the rules, so did Cain, but Cain decided, hey, this is a better deal for me. I like this better. And Cain came to the point in his life where he could either go right or left. He chose to go left, and he murdered Abel in cold blood. Murder is part of the human anatomy. It's part of the human character. It's part of the human makeup. I mean, these are the first people that ever lived on the face of the earth, and they couldn't get away from murder more than one generation down. Adam and Eve made the wrong turn. They came to the crossroads of their life. The devil was talking to them. Hey, how about these apples? How about these fruit, whatever it was? These are really good. You'll be so smart when you eat. And there they stood. Eve was deceived, Paul said. Adam was not deceived. He did it willfully. Adam had a choice. He could slap that snake or whatever it was right across the face. He could have picked him up with a tail and thrown him out of the Garden of Eden. Or he could have taken a bite. And unfortunately, he came to the crossroads of his life and took a bite. It happened to Pharaoh. Moses came to him multiple times. Thus saith the Lord, let my people go. Pharaoh, in his ignorance and arrogance, said, I don't think so. Ooh, what a beating. The Nile turned to blood. Hail and fire ripped the country apart. Locusts were everywhere. Flies were everywhere. Gnats were everywhere. Frogs were everywhere. The firstborn of the cattle all died. The firstborn of the humans all died. There was lice everywhere. Are you kidding me? Pharaoh came to the crossroads of his life when Moses came to him, threw his staff down, and it became a giant snake. It ate up the staffs of the sorcerers who were also able to perform miracles. Yep, Pharaoh should have turned right. What about you, friend? You got to make that right turn. The rapture and the second coming are only a few years away now. Call me 602-636-5800, and I will help you pray through to victory and to your destiny. Send me an email, mike@hardcorechristianity.com. You've got to stop making left turns. You have got to start doing the right thing and turning to the right, because the day is coming when you will be at the crossroads. See you next time.
The views expressed on this program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership. This program was sponsored by Michael W. Smith.